countless amounts of money from trading. I still say to this day, the best decision I ever made was to get in shape. Not to learn how to trade, not to make millions of dollars, to get in shape. I feel alive. I feel happy. My body feels good. I feel like I can go run with my kids without getting dizzy. That was the best decision I made.
What are the big lessons? Trading in general.
The biggest lesson that I've learned along the way is that it's going to take time. Relax. It's going to happen. It's not going to happen overnight. I started a sports card business. I hired guys to buy a bunch of sports boxes, all in about $450,000. Ran that for 2 months, lost every penny, $500,000 gone.
Trading is all about mindset. Everything in life that we have is a result of our decisions.
You have not failed until you quit.
People get in a dark spot. They think like, oh my God, life is over. And it's just a moment.
They're not seeing the overall picture and the end goal. They're seeing what they're feeling now. And that's very common. At the end of the day, there is a bright side. There is a million ways to make $1 million. You don't have to be a trader. 99% of those people will never find that light, unfortunately.
Today's guest has built serious influence in one of the most competitive arenas on the planet, trading. Known as Mamba FX, he's created a brand around discipline, consistency, and treating trading like a profession. This isn't hype trading. This is about building systems, mastering your emotions, and showing up with precision and consistency day after day. If you care about performance, decision-making, and operating at a high level, when most people crack, this conversation is for you. Welcome to the Power of Influence.
Welcome to the Power of Influence. My name is Haremza. I am your host. I'm super excited. This is a crazy story how I met this gentleman. I was actually at the UFC fight. And I came up and introduced myself, and you're like, hey, is this another stalker or something? I'm thinking that's what you're thinking, right? Because I says, hey, I'd love to get your contact, and I could kind of tell maybe a little bit of avoidance. So I'm like, I'm not going to push this thing. About 4 days later, I'm in the Louis Vuitton store at the Crystal Mall in Las Vegas, and I'm buying actually this shirt. That's why I'm wearing it tonight, because this is how I met this gentleman, buying this shirt. And I'm like, oh my God, he is literally standing right there. I mean, what are the odds of that, right? And so I went up and I introduced myself, and I actually sent him a message after the fight. And you said you did check out my Instagram and stuff. And so anyway, that's what brought us here today. I'm super excited about this, because I've been in trading about a year and a half or so, absolutely fallen in love with this. But this guy, Mamba, is the absolute GOAT when it comes to trading. I mean, from a YouTube standpoint, you're the #1 trader in the world, and I don't even know how much you make. I mean, I look at your videos, I look at your cars. It's insane, folks. It is insane what can be done when you master something like this, the day trading. And so we want to learn about that. I want to learn about you. I know my audience is going to absolutely eat this thing up. So welcome, and thank you so much for being here.
We're happy, John. I appreciate it.
Yeah, super excited. So, my audience loves trading, right? And so that is like, you are like I said, the GOAT in this area. I saw some of your videos. I've been following you for a long time. And I mean, my hat's off. I mean, it is absolutely impressive. So how did you get started in the day trading?
Well, I started like most people start off, and that's with the dream. And then also just being dirt broke and needing money and looking for outlets and trying to find a way to make money, and discovering that trading is one of those things that you can do from anywhere, anytime, any place. You have a computer, you can do it. I don't want to work a 9 to 5. I don't want to not see my kids all day. I don't want to have to go and clock in, clock out, listen to some dude who's telling me what to do. I don't want to do any of that stuff. I want to work for myself. I want to do it at home. I want to be with my kids all day. I want to do what I have to do. And I came across trading at a very young age, and that was 16 years old. For me at first, it was rough. It was hard. It took me a couple years to really grasp it. And I did spend 2.5 years losing. So I had to have other jobs. I had a few jobs at the time, jobs that I'm not so proud of, and then jobs that I am proud of, like making pizzas and flipping tacos or whatever. But, at the end of the day, it's a grind. It did take its time, but it was well worth the wait. And that's the best thing that I can say is it is well worth the wait. And the struggles and the tears and the pain, all the stuff you go through to become a trader, it's all worth it. It is all worth it in the end. It might not feel like it at first because of the pain and everything you're going through, but once you finally get it and you grasp it, you forget about all that shit. It's whatever at that point.
Yeah, so 2 years you're losing money, right? So you're going to work, making money, putting it in the market, losing it. And, what kept you going?
My kids, honestly, my kids, and just like people always ask me, like, what gave you that motivation? It was not being able to feed my kids. You know, they're hungry. And for one, they didn't ask to be here. I brought the motherfuckers in here. I got to take care of them. I got to feed them. I have 18 years of taking care of them and loving them and treating them well. Can't do that without money. You can't feed a baby without money. You can't have clean diapers for a baby without money. That, to me, is enough motivation. And that's why I always tell people, if you need motivation, have yourself a kid or two, maybe 3. You're going to have motivation by the time you're done with those kids being born, trust me.
Yeah, so, you think about, because the trading is very complicated, right? And, I mean, people can luck out. But when you have the consistent success, this is not luck anymore. This is absolute mastering the craft. And so, what would you recommend for someone looking to get in? Because a lot of people see the lifestyle that you have, because it's not just the cars, but it's the freedom.
Yeah, everything. Yeah.
Yeah, and what would you tell somebody trying to get into, that world?
Well, it's not overnight. It's not an overnight process. People think it's an overnight process because they do see the glitz, the glam, the money, the cars, the lifestyle. That's great. It's wonderful. But they don't see all of the hard work you put in. They don't see all the time you put in and time that it takes to be successful in anything you want to do in life. Trading especially. It takes a lot of time. So I would always tell people, it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to suck. And if you're okay with losing consistently for maybe 5 years, I can't tell you how long it's going to take, but it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to be in 2 months. You're just profitable. You're making millions of dollars. It's just not realistic. Then maybe you should look into something else because it is going to take time. But if you have patience and you really, truly want it, then go for it, because this is the one job that really pays you better than every other job, and it gives you freedom, unlike most jobs out there.
Yeah, and I mean, I think lifestyle today is, at the top of the list. I mean, it's one thing to make money, because people that make money in a lot of businesses literally sacrifice their freedom, right? For that money, and with the trading, you have that lifestyle as well. And, people don't realize you don't fall to the top of the mountain, right? I mean, that's what I love. I love the people. It's the story that got you there, right? I always say the road is better than the inn, right? And so, have you kind of always had like this free spirit or entrepreneurial spirit?
Yeah. Since a young kid, I've always wanted to do 2 things, and that's make a lot of money and be famous, entertain, be in front of people, be in front of a camera. I've always wanted that. Whether it was, I wanted to be a singer at one point, an actor. It wasn't necessarily that I wanted to be a singer. I wanted to be an actor, but I wanted fames one way or another. I wanted people to see my face so I can entertain them. And with trading, now that I've made money and I have millions in the bank and life's great, now I can really focus on entertainment, and I can be myself on camera and show people that, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. So maybe I don't necessarily have to entertain people, which I think I do, but I want to motivate people as well, to let them know that, I've been in those dark places. They don't last. They never last. You're going to find light, but you got to keep pushing through. You got to just keep going for it.
That's huge right there, because, people get in a dark spot, they get in a rough patch, and, they think like, oh my God, life is over. And it's just a moment. When you really think about it, it's a moment in time if you can just push through.
100%. 100%. Yeah, it's just a simple moment. What they're not seeing is the bigger picture. They're not seeing the overall picture and the end goal. They're seeing what they're feeling now, and that's very common. That's normal. That's human nature. But at the end of the day, there is a bright side. There is, like I said, there's light at the end of the tunnel. But if you just give up and you start going backwards, you're never going to get close enough to even see a glimpse of that light to know that it's there. You're just going to continue to go down these dark paths and these dark roads that just ultimately lead to being unsatisfied and being broken. And it is what it is. But a lot of people just, and I hate to say it, but I have to say it, a lot of people won't find that light. They won't. And it's unfortunate. But what is there, 7 billion people in the world or whatever? I don't know. It goes up all the time. Whatever it is, 99% of those people will never find that light, unfortunately. And it is what it is. But I hope to motivate those people and hopefully transfer some of those people onto the right side,
Yeah, and I think part of it is just, like you said, people give up. They give up. I mean, nobody fails. They just quit, right? And so when you were, you talk about you wanted this fame. When did you realize that? I mean, were you like, 4 years old or something? Or were you like always in that?
Probably about 9 years old, I started doing YouTube with like my cousin, stuff like that. And it was like just stupid dancing videos or singing videos or just whatever, you know.
Is some of that on your YouTube right now? I mean, that would be like viral stuff right now.
I wish it was. No, it was deleted a long time ago. YouTube didn't like 9-year-olds doing YouTube videos and stuff, so that got deleted a long time ago. But, you know, it was always anything. I mean, I was playing Roblox when I was young when it first came out, and it was like, let me be a Roblox YouTuber. I'll do Call of Duty. I'll try this. I'll vlog. I've tried so many different ventures of being famous, and I've always wanted it. Yeah, since about 9 years old, I've always wanted it. And, you know, I finally feel like I'm on my way to taking over now officially and finally. And I think money was the one thing I needed to get there. Yeah.
Get that money thing out of the way. Yeah. But you just never, it's just the persistence. I mean, you try things, it didn't work, and you just like, okay, what else am I going to do? Because you just kept you must have just had that mindset, that vision of the life you wanted, and this didn't work, I'll try this.
Right. And that's very important if you want to be successful, is being persistent, being consistent, and going for what you want, and not letting anybody or anything tell you that you're not going to get your goals. You're going to get your goals, and you got to put that in your mind. Like, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to get it. And I'm not going to fucking stop until I get it. Like, you're either going to fucking come take my life or I'm going to get there. And that's it. It's as simple as that. I'm either going to die or I'm going to get there. And if you have that mindset, you're either going to die or get there. That's all it is.
Yeah, I know. I think my background, I was a, you know, blue collar worker, high school education, you know, working a $9 an hour job. And when I got into my field, which was a complete departure from what I, you know, ever thought I'd be doing, and all my friends and family and the people around me, you know, laughing and teasing, you know, you're a dreamer. And for me, and I don't know what this did for you, but for me, it's like the hair on the back of the neck stood up, and I'm like, you know, it's almost like I need to go back and thank them for just pissing me off enough to push forward.
100%. 100%. I mean, having people not believe in you really can be one of the biggest pieces of motivation, honestly. And I remember when I was first coming up, you know, I felt like my family didn't believe in me. I felt like my friends didn't believe in me, but I knew I had to keep going. I knew how to prove them wrong. And eventually I did prove them wrong. And I showed them, hey, look, you know, check this out. And, you know, do I feel like I need to go back and rub it in their faces? Fuck yeah. And I do every single day just by breathing the air I breathe. The air that I breathe is gold now. You know, the cars that I have compared to the cars that they wish that they would have. Not even the cars that they have, but the cars they wish they would have. You know, the Camaros or the Challengers they wish they had. You know, that's pocket change. That's nothing to me now. And I say that very humbly because I worked hard for it and I got it and I deserved it. And I deserved it because I worked harder than everybody else ever has that was near me or around me, and they said I wouldn't be successful. I showed them that.
Yeah, was that a motivation for you?
Oh, 100%.
So what type of upbringing did you have, I mean, as a child?
For me, it was cool little upbringing. I mean, my mom there for me my whole life, stepdad, my dad not there so much, kind of here and there now. It's whatever, weird relationship, but my mom was there for me. We had a little apartment for a while. Stepdad came in. He was a correctional officer, so we ended up getting a nicer house later on in my life. Had a brother. And life was cool. You know, we never had extra money, but we had money. We survived. We lived. You know, life was good. But in terms of having a father figure, no, didn't have a father figure. You know, and it is what it is, but never deterred me or anything. It just made me a better father. It made me understand this is what the fuck I'm not going to do. I'm not going to not be there for my kids. I'm not going to disown my kids. I'm going to make sure I provide for my kids. I'm not going to, you know, just little things that I see him do or not do taught me what I need to do as a father and avoid doing, because I see how it made me feel. I'm not going to let my children feel like that. So it was more of an example the opposite way, but it helped.
Yeah, you know, I was watching a podcast this morning, actually, that you had done with someone else, and you know, just kind of getting to know you a little bit. And you know, as I watched that, I mean, I just thought, this guy has a huge heart, and he's just a really, I just felt that you were like a really good person.
Yeah, I think so. I think the way I talk, sometimes people are like, well, he's cocky, he's this, he's that, he's immature. But it's like, you know, behind the scenes and just my heart in general, I do care and I do love everybody. I really do. And I want everybody to succeed. I don't ever try to shit on people, but I'd rather motivate people so they can say, man, I want to get like that guy. I want to be able to talk like that guy. That's the type of money I want to have. I want to have the money where I can say whatever the fuck I want.
Exactly. F you money.
Exactly. And that's what I want to motivate people to want. It's not, I'm shitting on you because you're broke. No, I'm showing you that you can get to a point where you can talk however the fuck you want.
Exactly. You just got to pay the price, right? You got to pay the price, stay focused, be consistent, and do what other people won't do.
Exactly. 100%. Yeah.
And so are you into like, I'm huge into like personal development, the Jim Rowans and people like that. Have you gone into any of that type of stuff?
No, not necessarily. I'm just so focused right now on my craft. That's all I can focus on is getting better as a trader, better as a father, and just more entertaining, honestly. I just want to work on my craft every single day as hard as I can. And that's kind of what we've been focused on. Yeah.
Yeah. We're many times a victim of our environment. And like you talked about, not really having a father figure, right? And you're just like, this is what motivated me to be the father that I am, right? And wanting to take care of my kids and things like that. And it kind of reminds me of a story I heard where this guy was interviewing these two brothers, right? And they had completely opposite lives. One of them was like a drunk and the other would never touch the stuff. And they were asked the exact same question. What do you attribute, to your life? And they gave the exact same answer. What would you expect? My dad was a drunk. And so one's like, there's no way I'm going down that path. And the other is like, it's kind of like, what's Forrest Gump? Like Sergeant Dan, I'm destined to die in this war, right? So it's...
Yeah, and it's all about perspective. Like, people will come up typically and say, well, like you said, my dad was a drunk, so now I drink it. What do you expect? Or it's, my dad was a drunk, I see how that negatively impacted my life, so I don't drink. And it's all about perspective. Like,
I mean, everything in life is a choice.
It is. And you can take any negative situation and learn from it instead of letting it affect you. It really is about perspective and how a person reacts to what another person does. Honestly, that's how I look at it. I've been through tough times. Did I let it deter me? No. Did it hurt in the moment? Yes, but I learned from it. And I'm a better person now because of it.
Yeah, because I think so many people, they fall into the victim mode, right? And they start blaming everything. And, because trading is all about mindset too, right? I mean, it's a huge, huge part of it, right? And when people start thinking, they get into that poor me, that pity mode, blaming everything versus taking, because everything in life that we have is a result of our decisions. And if you're not where you want to be in your life, look at the decisions you're making and the people you hang around with.
Yep, 100%. I agree.
Yeah. So, having all this success, what have you, because, day trading, it's like, that active income. Then you take it and you put it, are you investing or, I know you've probably ventured into other types of businesses.
Yeah. So main source of income is trading. It's where most of the money comes from. With the money that I make from trading, the money that I make from teaching people how to trade. I mean, I'll never sit here and say, I don't teach people how to trade. I don't do this. I don't do that. I do 100%. I'm proud of it. I'm happy to say that my people who are under me and actually learn from me are doing extremely well. I don't mind saying that. But outside of those two things, so outside of trading in general, we invest in a little bit of real estate. We invest in crypto. We invest in regular stocks. We invest quite heavily in a lot of different things, but for the most part, it is trading. That's the main income source, of course. You're good at it. Why not? Why not just continue to make money from it? Why not focus in on something that you're really good at? And if you can hyper focus on something that's going to make you a lot of money, just keep doing that. A lot of people are always like, well, I want to put a couple eggs here, eggs there. I don't want all my eggs in one basket, but it's okay to have all your eggs in one basket if it's making you a shit ton of fucking money. Yeah, why not hyper focus on it? If I can make millions from this shit a month, well, let me go do this. No, I'm going to keep fucking trading every day and just go harder. That's how I look at it. And until trading doesn't work for me, which will probably never happen unless all types of regulations come in and we just can't trade anymore, which is not going to happen, then I'm going to continue to just trade every single day. It's what I do.
Yeah, I know. For me, when I have gotten to points where I've made just like crazy money, and then I get distracted in trying other things that I don't understand, and then I lose it, right? And it's like I keep coming back to my core, what brought me to the dance, right? That what I'm really good at, and that for you, that's trading. Have you had some big losses, like other businesses or anything that you've tried to venture into that you're excited about and maybe didn't work out, and you're like, okay?
Yeah, unfortunately, I started a sports card business, and it's an insane business where it's like you open sports card boxes for people online. So I hired guys to open the sports boxes. I bought a bunch of sports boxes, and we got a whole office building for it, did all this crazy shit for it. All in about $450,000. Ran that for 2 months, lost every penny, $500,000 gone. Learned from it, learned my lesson. Will I ever get in a business like that again? Probably. I'll probably do it again. But, go about it in a different way. Maybe not go so hard on spending. Maybe not hire 8 guys, right away, and start slow and see how things go. I ordered too much inventory. The guys were overpaid. The just camera equipment that I didn't need, I bought, and had this crazy $20,000 a month office, and I smoked so much of that money so fast. And it's okay to make mistakes, but $500,000 is one of my biggest losses for sure.
Yeah. What's one of your biggest wins?
Oh, biggest wins. One of my biggest wins. Honestly, I don't even want to say it because it's worse, but I've done $250,000 in one day, which is great, but it doesn't sound as great after just saying I lost 500,000. But I guess one day compared to a few months, yeah, whatever. It was about $250,000 a day. That was awesome.
Yeah, and that was day trading.
It was day trading, yes. Well, scalping, but yeah. I like to call it scalping. Scalping. Yeah, I like to get the fuck in and get the fuck out. Take my money before the banks take my...
Yeah, no, I was watching some of your strategy that you were talking about, kind of having a really tight stop loss, or maybe even kind of a mental stop loss.
Yeah, just being ready to get the fuck out. Yeah. It's like, to me, it's like robbing a bank, right? You get the fuck in, take your money, and you get out. Because if you don't get out, you're going to get caught. And I'm not getting caught in these markets any day of the week. I'm not. I'm getting in and out. So that's how I like to trade. And a lot of people like to swing trade and do this, and that. I think it's gay. I think if you swing trade, it's gay. I think it's you don't have enough balls to scalp because it's harder to scalp. It's scarier to scalp. And I think it just comes down to who you are as a man. It reflects how you trade, right? A lot of people like to hold trades for a long time and, well, I'm going to stay here for a few days and see how things go. You know what I'm saying? Kick my legs up and watch. That's boring as fuck. I'm trying to get the fuck in and get the fuck out, make 100K and leave. I'm not going to sit there and hope I make 20K in the span of 2 weeks. I'm not going to do that. To me, that's investing. I like to trade. I like to go hardcore with it. So again, it comes down to, do you have the balls to really trade, or do you want to just invest and hope the markets don't flip on you in 6 days? It's just invest at that point and don't call it trading, But
yeah, I know when I was, first starting to trade, and, one of my first mistakes is a completely over trading, right? And it's like I would find myself, and I wouldn't even realize it at the time, but my whole freaking body was like tense, like watching this trade. And it's just like, I'm like all cramped up, and it's just, and then I'm, waking up in the middle of the night, checking my trades. And then you see like a big move and you're like, okay, I got to get on. You're up half the night. Oh my God. It was just, I couldn't stop. It was like addicting. And now I've got it under control. But
I've been through that. And it's like, especially in the beginning, the tense muscles thing. That's where I, like, you say that and I can feel it and I can remember those days. And it's like, you can't really explain it, but you're kind of just real tight. And then by the time you're out of the trade, you realize and you're like, okay, let me loosen up, and you're fucking sore. And it's like, oh my God, did I just have a workout? Yeah, that's one of the worst feelings. But I'm glad you're past that. It's a shitty time to go through, but once you get past that,
Yeah, and I'm a lot more selective instead of just like, because I was like over trading and forcing a trade because I wanted to trade so bad, and so it was very emotional for me, and so I kind of got that a lot more under control. I still get that way once in a while. I mean, I'm not an expert whatsoever, but I see and that's what I think keeps everybody coming back. I'm sure even when you were losing, you have some really big days, so it's possible. When you make the mistake, the mistake you made, and then you make it again, at least, right? That's what I was doing. I keep making the same damn mistake and then beating myself up over it.
Yeah, very normal. It's very normal. Yeah, it comes, time. It's just time. You just got to do it and do it and do it. And eventually, with time, you get more comfortable. And you just get better at trading. Like anything you do repetitively, you get better at. Like if you're not getting better at it, then I don't want to say you're doing something wrong, but maybe you're in the wrong field, right? If you've been doing it for a year consistently and things aren't getting at least gradually better, well then, okay, maybe it's not meant for you, but it should get better with time. And for the most part, and you witnessed that, it got better with time. And that's typically how it works. Yeah.
Yeah. And so where do you think, with all the stuff going on with Trump and, kind of endorsing the crypto thing and, the market right now, I mean, what's your analysis right now of and of course in the day trading, it doesn't matter, right? You just need to know which direction it's going.
That's why I love scalping and I love trading the way I trade, because it's like Trump can say what he wants. We can do this, we can do that, we can go to war. For me, I'm going to make money no matter what, because I'm getting in and out within 30 minutes every single day, whether it's going up, that was down, or whether it's going down. Either way, it doesn't matter. I'm going to make my money. But in terms of crypto and stuff like that, I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. I think we're going to consolidate a little bit, which we're kind of already seeing. And I think that it's going to take time. Good things take time. And, a lot of times when presidents do come in, a lot of the things that they change, you don't see an effect for a couple years anyways. I think it's just going to take time. Yeah, I think it's going to be something that takes time. But I think overall, the whole entire market, every market that there is, honestly, is bullish, in my personal opinion. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think it's like, like a new president or whatever. It's like a ship. You turn the rudder, it takes a while for it to, before it starts to actually turn.
Exactly. Yep, takes time. All these things take time, but we'll see it. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, so what are the big lessons?
From what, trading in general?
Trading in general.
Biggest lesson that I can give to any person who wants to become a trader, any human being who wants to trade, the biggest lesson that I've learned along the way is that it's going to take time and to not overdo things. And there was a point in my career where I was like, overdo things every day, go crazy all night. You got to just study this shit. You got to invest every second of your life into it. And as time's gone on, as I've matured a little bit, I've realized that's fucking wrong. Don't overdo things, because if I didn't overdo things, maybe it wouldn't have took me 3 years. Maybe it wouldn't have took me 2.5 years to get here. So instead of looking at it from, well, that's what I did, I need to look at it from, maybe that's what I shouldn't have done. Maybe I should have slowed down. Maybe I should have taken a few days off. Maybe I should have relaxed and got into the right proper mind space, right? So I look at it from a different perspective than I used to, and it's slow down, relax. It's going to happen. You do got to be consistent, but take days off. Don't rush things. It's not going to happen overnight. I think that's the biggest lesson.
Yeah, because, when you say that, it brings up, because, like when you miss a trade or whatever, and it used to be, and now I realize, just wait a few minutes. There'll be another one.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Because there's always opportunities there. And because I was beating myself up and sometimes even getting upset over it.
So upset, so mad. Oh my God, I missed it. Oh, the last trade I took was a loss. And then I missed this trade. It would have been a huge win. And then you start fucking calculating shit and you're like, well, this trade would have been, if I would have exited here, I could have made my money back, or I could have made this amount of profit, or I would have been break even on my account. Then you just start getting in your own head, and then you're rushing the next trade. And next thing you know, you fucking suck at trading. So it's like, you have to relax. You have to realize you can miss trades. You can lose trades. It's going to happen. There's going to be another setup. Let it come to you. Don't go to it. That is a huge key when it comes to trading.
So from trading, what's your biggest loss in a day or in a trade?
It's about 100,000. 100,000 in one trade, one singular trade.
Yeah. And so how did that feel?
Well, I can't say it felt good, John. I can't say that, but I can say, man, I was on fucking suicide watch that day. I'll tell you what, I was so upset. I was so mad. Nobody was safe. But, for me, even being who I am, having the money I have, when I lost the 100K, it fucking sucked because I still made a mistake. And people will look at me like, you made a mistake, you're rich, you're this, you're that. Yeah, but I'm also human, right? I'm still human. I still make mistakes, and I can also overtrade still. Just because I'm where I'm at doesn't mean I don't go sometimes and go a little too crazy on a trade. It happens. It still happens for me. Yeah, I break the rules sometimes. I still do that as a human being. And then there's also times where it's $500,000 in a sports card business. I made a huge mistake and I lost $500,000. I'm not just like, oh, it's $500,000, whatever. Like, did I make that back really fast? Yeah, I did. I made more than that in the 2 months that I was doing other stuff anyways. But it's still $500,000 that could have been spent on a new car. It could have been spent on my kids if they wanted to go to college in the future. All of them, all 5 of them could have went to college, honestly, with $500,000. It's a lot of money. How do I put this? Maybe it's not a lot of money to me if you look at what I have in my bank account, but it's a lot of money in the sense of what I could have used that money on. I could have donated that money. I could have opened up a school. There's so many things I could have done, and instead I lost it. So it does upset me still as a human being, and I'm not just some greedy asshole who's like, I got all this money, who cares? It was money that could have been used somewhere, and it wasn't. It was used in an improper way, and I lost it.
Yeah. Because some people, anybody can do this, right? And if I'm sure you study the market, you study the trends, you know what's going on in companies. So kind of gathering that information, doing that technical analysis, so you're, kind of stacking the deck, right? Because you know what you're doing, right? Where other people trade emotionally, but some people, everybody can do it, but not everybody can do it.
Right. Yeah. I've gotten to a point, and I catch myself sometimes even now where it's like, I'll try to teach somebody, maybe somebody I know, and they're just not getting it. It's not clicking for them. And I get so frustrated, and I'm like, this is the simplest shit ever. How are you not getting it? But then I have to take myself back to where I was, and I'm like, holy fuck. I've been doing this for 7 years now, maybe 8 years now. And for 3 years, I sucked, and I couldn't trade. I couldn't make any money. How can I expect this person to come and make money in the first 20 minutes of learning? Like, it's not as simple as I think. I think it's simple, but I've also been doing it for 8 years. It's what I do. It's like washing my hands at this point. It's something I do every single day. It's just my life. It's consumed me. I've consumed it. We're one. We're together now. We're married. And, it's just, I have to understand that there is people who are going to come into this business and struggle at first. And I struggled at first, and it's going to take time. And, I just catch myself sometimes forgetting that it's not easy. This is not an easy thing to accomplish, but it is possible. It is doable. But to your point, are there people who aren't going to ever be successful at trading? Of course, 99% of people won't. Do I think anybody can get it? No, I don't either. I don't think anybody in this world can go and become a trader. I think there's a lot of people who are limited because their psychology will never allow them to be a good trader. So unfortunately, I can give everybody in here right now the best strategy in the world. I think I have it. But do I think that every single one of these people are going to be trading profitably? No, because I don't know who's got good psychology, who can do it here. Here's where it matters. And if you don't have that best strategy in the world, you're still going to lose money. It's not the strategy. It's who's using the strategy.
It's kind of interesting because I think this is true in any profession because, and I was talking to someone, that's kind of a guru in my profession as well. And we were talking, and I says, I can teach people what to do, but I can't teach people what I do. Does that make sense in the trading world?
It does make sense. I can teach people what to do, but I can't teach them to do it like me. It's as simple as that. I can teach you what I do. I'm going to show you how I do it. But are you going to be able to do it like I can?
And are you going to stick with it? Are you going to stay with it?
You're going to have the consistency or the will to even get to where I've gotten? Probably not. It's very unlikely, but it's very possible. And I want people to know it's very possible, but it's not.
Yeah, no, it's definitely possible if you're willing to stick through it and lose for 2.5 years, right?
Exactly. And I have people come up to me all the time. They're like, I've been doing this for 5 years. And, there's got to come a point in your life where you put the fucking computer down. Like 5 years in. I've had someone say 8 years, and I'm like, you've been doing this for 8 years and you're still not profitable. I don't want to unmotivate people, but 8 fucking years, try something different. There is a million ways to make $1 million. You don't have to be a trader. If you've been doing this for 8 years and you're still not profitable, just give it up. There is other ways to make $1 million. This one's just not for you. There's other ways. If I wasn't a trader, I'd be making millions somewhere else. Like, there's other ways to do it.
Right, because you got the mindset, and the other thing that money gives you is access, right? And when you make money, it just like opens a lot of doors to make more money. And it's contacts. And you know, this podcast is the power of influence. And money gives you influence, right? When you're an expert in a certain area, it gives you influence. And I mean, you have a massive influence in this world of trading. And who's had a huge influence on your life?
I think if I had to take it to the level of the most powerful influence in general, I'd probably have to go with my dad. And the reason I say that is because he motivated me a couple of things. He motivated me on, one, what not to do in life, what not to be. I don't want to live a normal life. I don't want to work a 9 to 5. I don't want to be broke, right? And I'm going to say that my father has got okay money, but he's working a 9 to 5. He's unhappy. He works every single day. You know, he wasn't there for me through most of my life. Not to get like Will Smith in that one episode, but I didn't need him, and I didn't need him then. I don't need him now, you know, and it is what it is. But the reason he's the biggest influence for me is because my whole life I wondered, do I need him in my life? Is this an issue that he's not here? And as I got more and more successful, I realized I don't. And I think that if he was there, I might have done worse, because he motivated the shit out of me to do great and show him, I can do this. I don't need you. I'm going to show you exactly who you're not going to be around, who you're going to miss out on. All the kids that I'm going to bring into this world, you're not going to meet. Like, I'm going to show you all those things. And it motivated the fuck out of me. So I would say probably my father. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I mean,
why don't he love me, man? Start crying and shit.
Yeah. So what's next in your life?
Take this. Honestly, right now, this is what I'm going to say, man. I'm so focused on my body right now. I've been cutting weight, getting in shape, in the best shape of my life. I finally got a 6-pack. You know, that's crazy to say. You know, growing up, I was kind of fat. So, like, to finally see abs is like I wake up every day and I count them sometimes. And I say, one, that's 6. That's 6, Sean. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah. And I know how, hey, that you talk about something that takes work.
That's something that takes a lot of work. I thought trading was hard. This shit is hard. We're talking about Magnolia beef or whatever you guys brought, and I took one little bite, and I'd love to have about 900 calories worth of it right now, but I'm not going to. So this is the hardest thing I've ever done, and that's lose weight, gain muscle, working out in general, taking care of your health. But it's done a lot for me. It's done a lot for my mental, my physical, the way I feel, my confidence. It's the best decision I ever made, more than trading.
Yeah, so were you, you said you're kind of a little bit overweight. When was that younger too, or was it when because when I started making money, I was a skinny person in high school. And when I started making money, you just, you're eating and you're at restaurants and I mean, in the old days, right? Even the generation before me, when you were heavy, you were called, a fat cat. It's like when you were heavy, you were labeled as successful, right? And now the success is when you're in shape. And that's where I'm at right now, too. I've lost like 40 pounds in the last year. And, I still got a mini keg. I had like a full keg. And now I don't know if I'm ever going to get the 6-pack abs, because I mean, that is like crazy discipline.
Do it. I guarantee you can do it. Well, 40 pounds, that's awesome. Proud of you for that, bro. That's great. I just think that, it's very true. You start making money. It's easier to eat because you get to eat out. You get to eat those steaks with the gold flakes on it and the chicken and the barbecue sauce and all the good shit. But no, I mean, for me, it's like we're in a world now where being in shape is almost just as much of a flex as having money. Because it's hard as fuck, and people are starting to realize, like, okay, it's really hard to get in shape. People go and they try, and you notice, like, Gold's Gym or all these different gyms, January comes around, everybody has their New Year's resolution, I'm going to get in shape. By February 15th, the fucking gym's empty, because it's hard, and they realize that. They're like, damn, this is harder than I thought it was. And, I feel very privileged to live a lifestyle where I have a lot of freedom and I have the time to focus on my physical health and work out and eat right and look into calories and macros. And I have my girl at home who cooks for me every single day. And, I feel like I'm very blessed in that aspect, but there's almost like this level of no fucking excuses either, because I hear people, well, I'm working all the time. It's hard for me to get in shape. It's hard for me to eat right and this, and that. Just because vegetables and all that shit are more expensive does not make it hard to lose weight, because it's not vegetables that make you lose weight. It's the calories that make you lose weight. Cut the calories. You'll save even more money if you stop buying 3 bean burritos from Taco Bell and you just go for 1. If you're in a deficit, you're going to lose weight. People think, oh, well, it's the broccoli and it's the vegetables that I can't afford, or the fish and this. No, you're extremely overweight. Cut back on calories. If you want to eat bullshit, that's fine, but put yourself in a deficit and you're going to lose weight. So it's a mindset thing. It's not oh, I'm busy, I'm doing this. If you don't have 30 minutes a day to work out and you're working a 9 to 5, that sucks.
But when you do have a life like you have, and you can make your money in an hour, right?
And I can spend 23 hours working out.
23 hours working out or doing whatever the hell you want.
Yeah. And that's another thing too, right? Like, there's another benefit of becoming rich and successful. You get the freedom to work out, put yourself in a better position to look good, and go on vacations. And I guess, I don't want to say this, but when you make money like I do, and you got all that money to spend, and you go on vacations, you want to be able to take your shirt off. So I get it. If you're working a 9 to 5 and you're not in good shape, it's okay, because you're going to be working that 9 to 5 all year anyways. You're not going to make it to the Bahamas to need to take your shirt off. So I get that aspect as well.
Yeah. Well, hey, money makes life better. There's no question about it, right? I mean, people that say money doesn't buy you happiness, just that they don't know where to shop, right? But in the same notion, being healthy makes everything.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Forget all the money, forget everything. Like I said, I made countless amounts of money from trading. Honestly, millions upon millions. I have every car you can imagine. I mean, my garage and front driveway look like a dealership, a supercar dealership. And I still say to this day, the best decision I ever made was to get in shape. Not to learn how to trade, not to make millions of dollars, but to get in shape. That to me is more valuable than the money that I've made, because my mental health has gone from the suicidal thoughts and the depressions and the not wanting to be here to, let me praise God. Let me pray more. I feel alive. I feel happy. My body feels good. I feel like I can go run with my kids without getting dizzy now. That was the best decision I made. Forget the money.
So when did this decision take place where you made this health, initiative?
I looked when I couldn't see my feet no more. I carried a lot of I carried a lot of fat in my stomach. For some reason, it was like little skinny arms. 230 pounds is how big I got. And that's pretty big for even 6'1", whatever. But I carried it all here. And it was like my arms were skinny, but like my stomach was so big. I didn't have rolls or anything, but it was this crazy bloat. And it looked like a pregnant lady. Honestly, it did. And it was getting outrageous. And I was seeing the comments online, oh, you got all this money, but how long are you going to live? Or you got all this money, but you're looking fat. And it's like, at that time, I was like, I'm not that big. And then time kept going on. I was like, I'm that fucking big, because the comments were picking up. And so was the scale. The scale was going up too. And then this is what really made me make that decision. I went to the doctors. I got a whatever it's called, a physical. They said, your cholesterol's high. Your blood levels look like shit. Your blood pressure's horrible. You might got to get on medication. And I said, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not getting on medication. That's ridiculous. And right there, I started looking into, how can I lose weight? How can I get in better shape? How can I lower my blood pressure and get all these things fixed? Week of research at the most. In the first month and a half, dropped 30 pounds because I stopped eating as much and I stopped eating fast food. The worst thing I was eating was Subway. Like, that was my cheat meal, was Subway. And then other than that, it was like chicken and rice and whatever. But went from 230 pounds to 159 pounds. Now, that was fucking disgusting. I'm 6'1". That's not normal. I shouldn't have been that little. I looked like I was doing crack. So I went from looking like a big old fat dude to, high cholesterol and all these things, to looking like, okay, he's done crack for 2 months straight. And that was disgusting too. And I had body dysmorphia at one point because I was like, I was so big, I want to get skinnier and skinnier. And then I started seeing my ribs. And then I could see too much of my feet. I could see the back of my feet from the front. And I was like, this is fucking disgusting. Let me put on some muscle. Then I shot up to about 200 pounds, muscle, a little bit of mix of fat. And now I'm sitting at about 185. So
do you work out with like a personal trainer, or?
I did at first until I learned the ropes and I figured out how to, do this on my own. And now I'm just.
And you probably have like a gym at your house?
We have a gym in our neighborhood has a private gym. Yeah. So we just paid for that. It was like $20,000 and we get to just go whenever. And yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. Well, this has been, fantastic. And you're a true inspiration. I mean, I don't care where you are in your life, people. It doesn't matter. I mean, if you commit to something, don't give up. Don't look at losses as a loss, but it's a lesson, right? And you stay with anything. It doesn't matter where you are in your life. You can rise out of it. If you're in a bad spot, it's a moment in time, right? It's not the end of the world. It is literally a moment in time if you just start making the right decisions. And I think that's a big thing. I have a little personal philosophy that, never underestimate the impact of every decision you make. Regardless of how small or insignificant it may seem at the time, it has an impact or, it affects the outcome of your life. Everything we do comes down to the decisions we make. The food that we eat.
Every single thing.
Yeah, where you exit that trade versus the next person trying to suck a little bit more out of it and it reverses on them.
100%. And if I could just say one final thing, and I've said this for a long time now, you have not failed until you quit. Until you quit and say, you know what, I'm done. You're not a failure. You can take losses without being a failure. You're going to lose along the road. LeBron James, one of the best basketball players of all time, he's lost plenty of times. He's lost championships. He's lost a lot of opportunities. Is he a failure? Would you say, oh, man, LeBron James is a failure in life? Fuck no, he's not. Yeah. Losses are losses, but until you quit and you say, I give up, you haven't failed. Just took a couple losses along the way. They're just lessons, that's all. Yeah. And that's why I always say just keep going.
Yeah, the biggest winners are also the biggest losers. Oh, right? They've lost more than most people have tried.
Lost more than the ones who haven't made it yet, that's for sure. That's why they're there.
Yeah. So, we got a few minutes left here, and you've got this insane passion for these supercars.
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally like a dealership. I've watched your videos. It's insane.
Love it.
I mean, how do you even drive these things? I mean, it's like every day. Do you have them like on a schedule? On Tuesday, I'm going to drive this one, or what?
Well, we tried the schedule thing for a while, and it just didn't work out. For me, it's like I'll go outside and you just sit there for a second and you just listen. And which car wants to be driven the most is going to talk to you. You're going to hear it. It's going to tell you, drive me today, please. Whatever car begs for it the most, that's the car I'm going to get in. It's the one that's going to get my time. But for me, it's like, if I'm being real, honestly, I only drive like 3 of them because they're all blocking the other cars. So for me, it's like, honestly, I can't even drive half of them because they're like fucking stuck in the garages. And then I got 3 Rolls Royces in front of the Lambo and McLaren. So I can't even get to them without having to move 3 cars and then move this car. And then I have to move them back and reverse. It's a shit show. So honestly, I drive about 2 of them out of the 10. So
I got to ask this too. What do your neighbors think? I mean, they see all these. I mean, do they know what you do?
No, well, kind of. Most of the time, they just assume I sell drugs. Yeah, for the most part. I've had people say that. Like, older people will come up to me and say, you sell drugs or something? And it's like, very funny. But, no, we have one neighbor. Well, we have a few neighbors, right? Oh, my God, they just don't come out. My neighbors don't come out. I don't know why. It's a very quiet neighborhood. Like, I've seen them, like, once through the window. They don't ever come out. So I don't know what they think about me.
And you don't care, right?
I don't really care. Yeah. I could care less what they think about me, but I'm just baffled thinking about it because it's like I only know what one neighbor looks like out of the entire street. Like, we don't see faces. They don't come out. So for real.
Well, listen, we're out of time. Just really, really appreciate. I think it was fate that we met in that for the second time, like 3 days later in that store. That was insane.
I think you were stalking me, John, but it's okay.
Well, hey, I even thought, I bet he thinks I'm stalking him, except I was there first. I mean, that would be some crazy ass stalking to get to that store before you.
That'd be nuts. That'd be crazy. But no, it's good. I'm happy we did this. This is great. It's good talking to you. I appreciate the time. And, yeah, I hope you guys have a good rest of your night. Thank you for having me.
As well. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Folks, power of influence. This gentleman has got major influence. We'll put some links down below so you can connect with him. But he's got an insane Instagram. If you want to learn trading, you need to be following this guy as well. It can be life-changing if you commit to it, right? So with that, thank you very much, and we'll see you on the next episode.